Oh my gosh, where do we even start? Because what went down at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party was the talk of Hollywood. And in the middle of all that glitz and glam, guess who walked in? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Yes, you heard that right. The royal rebels showed up at the queen of reality TV's milestone bash, and honestly, nobody saw it coming. But let's be real, their appearance wasn't just shocking, it was awkward. Insiders say the vibe in the room shifted the second they arrived. Before that, it was pure A-list magic. Celebrities, producers, moguls, and every influencer who mattered was there. The energy? Electric. But when Harry and Meghan stepped through those doors, that buzz fizzled into whispers. People smiled, sure. They hugged, kind of. But you could feel the politeness masking discomfort. It was like everyone was thinking, why are they here? Because, let's face it, this wasn't their usual crowd. And Kris Jenner, queen of Hollywood strategy herself, didn't exactly roll out a royal red carpet either. Sources say that invite didn't come directly from Kris. Nope. It allegedly came after Meghan pushed for it through a mutual connection. Kris, ever the media mastermind, wasn't going to say no, not when she knew the headlines would explode. For her, it was brilliant PR. Having the Sussexes appear meant attention, buzz, and global headlines. But for Harry and Meghan, oh, it reeked of desperation, another attempt to stay relevant in a world that seems to be quietly moving on. From the very beginning, people noticed it. The room, filled with Hollywood royalty from music powerhouses to moguls, seemed to shrink around them. Harry and Meghan weren't the center of attention, not even close. Harry looked uncomfortable, stiff, unsure, like a man stuck in the wrong movie premiere. Meghan, on the other hand, was working overtime. She was smiling too brightly, laughing a little too loud, trying to project that effortless Hollywood glow. But everyone saw through it. Behind the perfect hair and the curated laughter, it looked forced and honestly painful. Insiders whispered that the couple looked disconnected, out of sync, and even out of place. Once upon a time, they were the center of the world's fascination, a prince and his Hollywood bride defying the crown. But here, they were just two guests trying too hard to fit in. And it wasn't lost on anyone that the Kardashians themselves have circled around people in media outlets that have not been kind to Meghan. Kim's friends have thrown shade at her authenticity. So to see Meghan there, grinning across the room, pretending none of it mattered, it was, in one word, bizarre, even for Hollywood. Hollywood is built on fake friendships, but this took the cake. Sources say Meghan floated around the party like she was auditioning for her own redemption arc. She greeted everyone, producers, influencers, stylists, with that polished charm she's known for. But insiders noticed the looks, the polite smiles, the lack of warmth. People were nice, yes, but no one seemed genuinely excited to see them. Harry, bless him, stood mostly on the sidelines, laughing when he needed to, whispering something to Meghan, then awkwardly scanning the room. This wasn't royal duty, this was survival mode. Behind closed doors, some guests joked that the Sussexes seemed more interested in being photographed than celebrating Kris herself. It all felt staged. Another PR play that didn't quite land. And let's not forget the irony here. Meghan once claimed she left royal life to escape fake people. Yet, here she was, in a room full of Hollywood's most image-driven personalities. As one social media user perfectly put it, she left the palace to get away from fake smiles, and now she's surrounded by the fakest crowd in California. Ouch. Let's call it what it is. Meghan has long been accused of being a social climber, and that night didn't help her case one bit. Hollywood insiders said the Sussexes were seen trying to mingle with producers and brand executives, but guess what? The interest wasn't mutual. People were polite, but not engaged. The real power conversations of the night? They were happening elsewhere, far from Meghan's orbit. For a couple used to dominating global headlines, this quiet form of rejection must have stung. Even the Kardashian sisters kept their distance. Khloe barely interacted. Kim was polite but cold. Kylie, who's usually bubbly with everyone, didn't linger for long either. There was no photo op with Kris, no viral selfie moment, no "oh my god, look who's here" moment. Just awkward silence and empty smiles. It became clear that while attention might follow Harry and Meghan, acceptance doesn't automatically come with it. By the end of the night, something remarkable happened, or rather, didn't happen. There was no dramatic exit, no press shots of them waving goodbye, no paparazzi rush. Instead, Harry and Meghan slipped out quietly, almost unnoticed. For two people who built an empire on visibility, that low-key disappearance spoke volumes. Observers called it a defining moment. For years, their every move made headlines, but this time, their silence did. They faded into the background and nobody followed. And that's the harsh truth about Hollywood. Attention is currency, but it's fleeting. You can't buy your way back in with titles or sympathy. You have to offer something valuable. And right now, people are questioning what Harry and Meghan still bring to the table. Now, here's the twist nobody wanted to say out loud. Sources revealed that Harry and Meghan weren't even on the original guest list. That's right, insiders claim they worked behind the scenes to get in. Meghan allegedly called in favors, reached out through mutual contacts, and leveraged her connections to secure that late-night invitation. So technically, they didn't crash the party, but let's just say it was dangerously close. This was no casual birthday bash. This was a power room. We're talking Hollywood royalty, moguls, executives, people who shape the industry. Deals get made in rooms like that. And when Harry and Meghan walked in, they didn't look like equals. They looked like outsiders trying to fit into a world that had already moved past them. Let's be honest, everyone felt it. As Harry entered, you could feel the tension. Meghan turned on her charm, waving, greeting, performing, making sure she was seen, but Harry? Oh, poor Harry, he looked lost. Royal formality doesn't work in a Hollywood cocktail setting. He wasn't rude, just misplaced. People described him as stiff, awkward, and uncertain. Meanwhile, Meghan kept up her Hollywood hustle, hopping from group to group, dropping polished one-liners, laughing just a little too perfectly. But here's the thing about Hollywood, you can't fake your way into belonging. Fame doesn't equal influence. You can be the most famous person in the room and still not be the most wanted person there. And sadly, that's exactly how it looked. Observers say this night should have been a wake-up call for the couple. Hollywood is ruthless. It doesn't care about royal titles. It doesn't care about royal drama. It only cares about what sells. And if your brand doesn't bring buzz or bankability, the room moves on. Once upon a time, Harry and Meghan's story, the royal exit, the Netflix deals, the Oprah interview had people glued to their screens. But now, that sparkle has faded. Their projects have stalled. Their influence has dimmed. Even their Netflix deal, once hyped as their golden ticket, has lost steam. The Spotify partnership? Gone. Meghan's new lifestyle rebrand? Barely making waves. They've been trying to reinvent themselves from philanthropists to influencers, but it's just not clicking. And showing up uninvited to Kris Jenner's world didn't help the optics. Meanwhile, across the pond, insiders at Buckingham Palace reportedly raised their eyebrows. Royal aides are said to be puzzled, even embarrassed, about why Harry and Meghan are so desperate to infiltrate Hollywood circles. The whole purpose of Megxit was to gain independence, privacy, and purpose. But instead, they seem to be chasing spotlights in rooms that don't really want them. For those still loyal to the royal family, the images of Harry standing awkwardly in a Hollywood party full of influencers felt symbolic. Once a prince, now just another +1. Behind the glitz and gossip, one truth became painfully clear. Hollywood isn't buying the Sussex brand anymore. Insiders at the event described their presence as performative. They were there to be seen, not to connect. People shook hands, exchanged cards, but no real alliances were formed. There were no whispers of new deals, no collaborations brewing, no meaningful talks. They came in hoping to build bridges, but left the same way they arrived, on the outside. And that's what makes this story so heartbreaking. For a couple that once symbolized change, strength, and reinvention, this night was the opposite. It was the image of two people chasing relevance and realizing the world had stopped chasing them back. After the party, social media exploded not with praise, but with mockery. Fans questioned everything, their outfits, their smiles, their motives. The general consensus? Meghan was trying way too hard, and Harry looked like he wanted to vanish. Some even called it the most awkward Hollywood appearance of the year. The memes, the commentary, the snark, it was brutal. And while Meghan's PR team tried to spin it as a casual social outing, insiders knew the truth. It was another in one Rique's and another in one Ree's calculated appearance gone wrong. By the time the night ended, the message couldn't have been clearer. You can't force belonging in Hollywood. You have to earn it. And Harry and Meghan, despite their fame, haven't done that yet. Kris Jenner, ever the opportunist, got exactly what she wanted: headlines, attention, global buzz. The party became viral news. But the Sussexes, they left with nothing: no new allies, no new deals, and no genuine connections. They tried to turn the night into a statement of relevance. Instead, it became a symbol of how far they've drifted from both worlds, royalty and Hollywood alike. Picture this: as the lights dimmed and the A-listers partied on, Harry and Meghan slipped out quietly through a side exit. No cameras, no cheers, just silence. For a couple who once couldn't step anywhere without the world watching, this was almost poetic. The once golden duo now fading from the glow they once commanded. And maybe, just maybe, this was the moment they realized that titles, fame, and followers mean nothing if the rooms you crave don't want you there. Epilogue: the fall of the Hollywood royals. So, what's next for Harry and Meghan? Insiders say they're rethinking their strategy, but time is running out. Their influence in the industry is waning, and their reputation as power players is slipping. Hollywood has moved on. The royals have moved on. And the public? They're watching not out of admiration, but curiosity, waiting to see if this couple can still rise from the chaos they created. Because if Kris Jenner's 70th birthday proved anything, it's this: you can't fake belonging. You can't buy influence. And sometimes being seen isn't the same as being respected. For Harry and Meghan, this wasn't just a party. It was a mirror reflecting how much they've lost, trying to be everything the world expected, and how little Hollywood now cares.